You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
All right, you can sit comfortably with the legs out in front of you, butterfly. I always like to kneel over my bolster, and then I just relax the calves outside of the thighs so they don't get trapped. Take the hands into the lap. Just rest the right hand on top. Sorry, yeah, right hand on top of the left, and just link the thumbs together there so they make a nice little triangle, and then rest the wrists down on the thighs. Relax into the elbows, soften through the shoulders. And just take a few deep breaths just to get settled, coming into the space. And always your option is to close the eyes or to take a soft gaze. You don't have to close the eyes at all. You can just close the lids slightly and start to blur out the peripheral vision and just focus down at the floor at a single point on your flooring. Maybe it's a mark on laminate or a mark on the carpet, something like that. And just take in how you feel today, being Monday, after the weekend. Maybe it's been back to work or back to chores. And just check in with yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? And listen to the answer that comes back to you. We're going to start to work through the upper body today. So into the waist, the rib cage, the chest, the shoulders, and into the neck. So always honoring your own body, any limitations. Never forcing yourself into a place of discomfort or pain, but wanting to experience challenge and feelings, or feeling something at least. And remember that we hold the posture for a couple of minutes, so you never have to go to your deepest point straight away. You can allow gravity to take you there. So for now, just think of an intention for practice, whatever you need most, and how you would like to feel after your yin practice today. Nice and slowly, take the hands from the lap and just rest them on the thighs. Start to wiggle the fingers and get really into the joints of the fingers. You might like to isolate the fingers. You can do a little mudra testing like this. So you go from thumb to forefinger to index finger, and just move the fingers and the joints. And then clenching into the fists and stretching the hands away. And then circling through the wrists. Get into the wrist joint. And then circle the other way. Good. Give the hands a little shake out. Relax everything into the wrist. Bring the fingers together, interlace the fingers and press the heels of the hands together. Nice and lightly here. They don't need to be, crushing the knuckles. And then start to keep the heels of the hands together and move the wrists in a figure of 8. So see if you can draw a figure of 8 with the thumbs. And you'll notice that you've probably automatically gone one way to draw that infinity symbol. Now reverse it, or always hard. And it might be the little fingers that are actually leading that infinity symbol. Good. Keep the heels of the hands together. So you are simply moving a double fist, as it were. That's it. Nice. And release out. Good. Give it a shake. Circle through the shoulders. Notice if they feel tight today. Circle one shoulder after the other. And then circle an arm as if you're going backstroke. And then the right arm stays behind you. Left hand comes to the knee, opening up into a nice little rotation, lengthening through the spine. Good. Again, just breathing here, relaxing shoulders. And then bring yourself back, and then opposite arm circles back behind you, and then you take the hand to the thigh and just gently open the chest to the side. So a rotation through the spine. Good. Bring yourself back into center. If you feel comfortable to stay in your seated posture, that's great. I'm going to stay kneeling, dropping the ear down towards the shoulder. Try not to move the head forwards or tilt it up. We are simply dropping ear to shoulder. Notice the gap lengthening between the earlobe and the collarbone and the top of the shoulder here. You might feel a deep stretch coming in. If you wish, this is optional. You can bring the hand up. It's just extra weight. It's not pulling it down. Good. Nice. Keep the gaze looking forward, relaxing into the face. Nice and slowly release the top hand and then bring the head back into center. Notice that neck now, and then drop the ear over to the other side. Make sure you're not dipping or lifting the chin. Head is going straight forward. Make sure that this shoulder doesn't creep up with the neck. Dropping. And then again, just adding a little bit of extra weight. Don't have to pull the head down. Feel and breathe into that side neck. And release the top hand. And then gently lift the head back in. Drop the chin towards the chest. Try not to roll the shoulders forward. Shoulders stay in line with the hips. You are simply dropping the head down. Feel the head become heavy. Feel the stretch through the back of the neck, maybe in between the shoulder blades. Nice and gently breathe in. Lift the head back up into center. Nice and slowly, we're simply going to lift the chin, not collapse into the back of the neck. Lengthen the front of the throat. Lengthen the back of the neck. Good. Shoulders stay down. And you just take a gaze up towards the sky with a relaxed face, particularly the forehead. Make sure you don't wrinkle up the forehead there. Remembering to breathe. And then gently bring it back into center. Turn the head to one side, nice and gently, keeping that gap between the chin and the collarbones. You're gently going to press the chin towards the back. Holding and breathing, never forcing past a place of comfort. But we do want to feel a stretch. Nice and slowly bring it back through center. Good. And exhale. Breathe out as you go to the other side. And breathe in. Bring it back into center. Now just move the neck. Maybe figure of eight. They don't have to be big. They can be nice and small. You're drawing a figure of eight with the crown of the head. Imagine. Now reverse it. Oh, that's hard. It's coordination testing, really. Nice and gentle. Good. And relax out. Good. Let's get into our first posture, lying down in prone. So coming down onto your bellies. And just bring the head to the back of the hands. Okay, bring the big toes to touch and just relax here. So we're lying on our belly, lying face down. That's it. Head is on the back of the hands and your big toes are touching. Good. Now relax everything here. Notice if you've come to lie down and you're holding a bit of tension anywhere, particularly in the hips, the pelvis, and the buttocks and the spine. So relax that whole area there. Let that become heavy. So relax into the glutes. Good. Widen the feet to the outer edges of your mat. Make sure all 10 toes are touching. And we're going to bring ourselves into Sphinx. So the arms come out in front of you. Maybe the elbows are underneath the shoulders. Maybe they're a little bit forward of the body. But again, don't go to your deepest place first of all. Take time to get into the posture. So keep the chest, sternum nice and open. The gaze is just focusing down towards the front of your mat. Now, this is where the pelvis becomes really heavy. You're dropping the pubic bone in towards the earth and then pushing away through the palms, forearms, and elbows to keep your body lifted. Closing the eyes brings in further and deeper focus, concentration towards what you're doing rather than having the eyes open and alerting yourself to other things around your room. Notice where you feel this. Everybody will feel different postures in different places. Our bodies are unique. And we all have different levels of flexibility and range of motion and limitations. So always honoring your own body. Keep thinking of the heaviness of the legs and pelvis and the uplifting and opening feeling of the upper body. Before we go down, move the head to the right. Maybe take a gaze over that right shoulder. You might just glance your heel in the corner of your eye. Bring yourself back into center and then gently look towards the left. And again, if you see your heel, that's great. If you don't, that's great too, but just move the head nice and gently. Now widen the elbows and roll down. Bring the head back to the hands and big toes touch. Relax everything once more. Allow your response to come in. This is where you also feel what you've actually achieved in the posture. And notice how the back and the chest and the shoulders feel. Let's go into our broken wing. So the left arm goes out to the side of you at a 90-degree bend in the elbow, and the right hand comes by the face. Now just bend the knees here and roll onto the left hip, and then you can bring the ear down to the mat. So dropping into that left armpit, left chest, left shoulder. Now that right arm might be able to relax now, or it might just reach forward, wherever it feels most comfortable. If the left arm bent is a little bit challenging, straighten the arm out so you can extend the arm. It's going to make that posture a little bit easier. Yes, exactly there. So make sure the belly's not hanging out, having a party. Pull navel back to spine. Make sure the knees are stacked on top of one another. So breathing into the tight areas here that you might feel in the lying chest opener or broken wing. Talking about a broken wing, I watched a lovely movie yesterday based on a true story. It's on Netflix called Penguin Bloom. It was from a book about a lady who had an accident on holiday and changed her life quite drastically. And they found an injured magpie. A really nice, heartwarming movie. Breathe through the tension. Exhale, effort, tightness, release. Nice and slowly roll the body back in towards the center. That left arm that was just out, bring it back by the hip and let the arm relax. So the palm faces up and you can rest the head on your right hand. So let's go to the right. So right arm comes out, elbow is in line with the shoulder. Either choose the bent arm option or the straight arm option. Start to roll over onto your right hip, bending in the knees, making sure the knees are stacking on top of one another, and the left hand just stays by the face. So again, choosing the option that's the most comfortable for you to stay. I always find the bent arm option is the more challenging of the two. And you can extend the arm if that feels more comfortable with the palm face down. Pulling navel gently in towards the spine. Dropping as much weight as you can into that right chest, right shoulder, right armpit. And gently roll yourself back. The left hand comes underneath the head. Right hand goes back by the hip, palm face up. Soften into that right shoulder. And then bring both hands to the top corners of your mat. Just pressing yourself up into your seal pose. We're going to hold there for 1 minute. Nice straight arms. Dropping pubic bone and sit bones, keeping shoulders away from ears and making sure all 10 toes are pressing into the mat. You're pulling navel back to spine. Nice, good work. Lifting, lifting, lifting. If you want, you can come a little bit higher if that feels good. Bringing the hands a little closer back to you. The arms are straight if you can. That's it. Nice. Good. And slowly rolling down, bending the elbows, the belly comes down, diaphragm comes down, rib cage comes down, and the chest comes down, head comes down. Big toes touch, sway out. And then press yourself back nice and slowly into your tabletop. Find tabletop, move the hips left and right, and find your cat and cow. Notice now if you have further mobility into your back extensions. The flexions might not feel so nice just yet because you've just done quite a lot of back bend. So go easy into the flexion, which is the rounding in cat. Might take a bit of movement to get that going. Does with me anyway. And let's pull ourselves back into a wide leg child's pose. Knees go wide, big toes together, and bring the hands underneath the head or place the head on a block so the elbows are nice and wide. Drop the head down, melt the chest, relax the belly between the thighs. So if you have a block handy, you might need this one for the next posture, which is hands in prayer. And then the thumbs come to the nape of the neck. So if you've got a ponytail in the way, just flick that out of the way. Try and keep the palms together if you can. The heels of the hands might start to separate. So you try to get the elbows as wide as you can with the palms together. Head is down onto the mat. So the thumbs are pointing down towards the shoulder blades. Fingertips are reaching towards the back. Make sure you're pressing down through the chest. Ideally, the fingers are together in prayer. Namaste. Hands. Anjali Mudra. Nice and slowly release the hands forward. Just roll the wrists over, left and right wrist. So flipping the palms up to the sky and back down to the mat. Nice and gently bring the hands back towards the knees and take time to roll up through the spine to kneeling. Don't rush here. Avoid any dizziness. Okay, we come to the back of the mat, sitting nice and tall. Relax the shoulders down. Just take a moment to feel that one that we just did. This was, the hands were at the nape of the neck here. So this was the child's pose. So we're trying to keep those elbows nice and wide here, not too narrow, but it's hard, isn't it, when we're in that child's pose? So see if you can actually do that kneeling here. So the hands are together in prayer. And we're bringing the thumbs down the nape of the neck. We're pressing the heels of the hands together. See what you can do here to squeeze the elbows together and then squeeze the elbows wide. That's it. Yeah, good. So try to keep the hands together at the neck, squeezing elbows together and squeezing elbows apart. And relax and release. Well done. Good. Circle through the shoulders. Give the wrists a little shake out. Good. So tabletop with a leg stretch as well. So the right leg comes out to the side of you. So it's an adductor stretch into the leg. Make sure that you haven't gone too far. So see here, I've taken my hip way away from my knee. So make sure that that knee is stacked right underneath the hip and that heel is in line with your hip as well. Toes are pointing forward. Okay, good, good, good. And then we're going to lift up our left arm and thread it through towards our right toes. Now, again, using blocks underneath the shoulder or underneath the head. Yeah, that's it. So left hand works towards that right foot. That's it. Yeah, good. And this right hand might go to the hip. So it might go to the left hip or it might come forward of the mat. So it stretches forward, right arm stretches forward, or it goes to your back left hip. Choose an option that feels good. I know there's a lot going on here. That's it. Perfect. Now make sure, again, so much goes on in this one. Left foot is pressing into the mat. So the left shin, the left ankle are active. They are pressing down. That's it. Oh, well done. Good. Pulling navel gently in towards the spine. You've got a rotation through the rib cage, the side body, the waist, right up to the armpit. If it's really too much for you with the leg out, you can always just do tabletop with threading the needle, of course. That is a modified variation. Bring the right arm back. Press into that right arm to lift yourself up. Open up the left. Give it a big stretch. And then release it down as you bring the right leg back in. Sway the hips out. Let's go other side. I'm going to turn around so that I can still see you. Hello, Wesley. Where are you going? Oh, left leg goes out. Okay, that's just right where I need to be. Right where I need to be. And then right arm reaches up and threads through towards those left toes. Good. And then that left arm, I know it's all right and left and right and left. Left arm can wrap itself around towards the right hip, right thigh, or it reaches itself forward. Make sure you're active in the right shin, right ankle that is pressing down in towards the mat. Yes, you might be feeling this in the inner thigh, inner groin, the adductor muscles in that left extended leg. You might feel that one side feels much more comfortable than the other. Walking left hand back and sweeping up right arm up towards the sky, opening that right side there. Bring the hand down, left leg comes back, sway out. Good. And let's come off of the knees. So swing the legs around in front of you. So just make sure you're comfortable for this forward fold. You can use a bolster underneath the knees. You can sit on a block. You can sit on a bolster. It's always options. Or you might like to rest your head on a bolster. That's always nice too. So the bolster might go there and you can rest the head. Make sure that when you do use the bolster or blocks to rest the head on, the neck is soft and relaxed. It's not crunched up. You are giving those 7 cervical vertebrae some space. Okay, so as you come into a forward fold, however you choose to do the fold, just make sure it's comfortable. Nice. Good. It should be soft, relaxed, letting go, allowing gravity to take the body deeper into the fold. Deep, slow, long breaths out and in. You are gently pulling navel back towards the lower back, rounding through the spine, relaxing shoulders, spreading the shoulder blades from one another, and really allowing the head to drop down into your prop. Staying connected to your posture, holding the pose, finding stillness, working towards an edge. Nice and slowly rolling up. So walking the hands back towards the hips, keeping chin towards the chest. And then only when your shoulders start to come back up in line with your hips, then unrolling the upper body and the head and the neck, sitting nice and upright. Good, well done. So just take a moment to bend the knees, relax through the back of the hamstrings there, and just move the knees right and left, windscreen wipers. Hands can go back behind you, of course. They don't have to be out in front. And then just take the feet to the front of the mat and start to gently roll down through the spine. So bringing the belly in towards the lower back and the lower back in towards the mat. Try and hold the release as you roll down. When you get all the way down, bring the head down and then draw the right, followed by the left knee in. Squeeze out the knees in towards the chest. Rock and roll from side to side. And then gently work into the hips. Again, being really soft with your movements, nothing forced or jerky. So we're going to come into a supine twist here. Soles of the feet go down, and you can choose your twist. You might like to do both knees go together, or you might like to extend the underneath leg and then the left leg, the right leg goes on top. So choose your option. I'm going to extend the underneath leg with a little bit of a bend, and then I'm going to try and drop this right knee down towards the mat. But if it doesn't quite go, remember you've got blocks and bolsters that can support and fill that space of that knee. What we want to try and achieve with a supine twist is that this right shoulder blade is pulling itself nicely down towards the mat, and you're opening up through the chest. So at the compromise of dropping the knee down to pulling the right shoulder away, balance that one out for yourself. If you like, you can turn the head, gently lifting the head and looking towards your right hand, if the neck allows. It doesn't have to look towards the palm. It can look straight up towards the sky with the back of the skull down on the mat. So again, breathing into the tight areas that you feel. It's all about tuning into the sensations and the feelings. Trying to soften through connective tissue here. relaxing into glutes, outer thighs, spine, shoulders, chest. Nice and slowly, roll yourself back into the center. Realign feet, knees, hips, pelvis, and spine. Take a moment just to recover out of that supine twist. You might like to take the feet into constructive rest here. Choosing the same option on the other side, whether that was with both knees bent or with one leg a little bit straight and the other one coming over the top. So again, using bolsters and blocks, they fill space so that you're not hanging in the balance, as it were. So dropping left knee over. Opening up through the chest and the left side of the body, and the left shoulder then gently pulls its way down towards the mat. Noticing any differences as we move from right to left, of course. And taking a deep breath in. Rolling back into the center. Again, realigning feet, knees, hips, pelvis, and allow the body just to respond to come out of that supine twist on the opposite side. Dropping into constructive rest. Nice. Draw the knees in gently this time, no pressure. Breathe out as you give them a little squeeze. And then let's just gently roll over to one side. We are coming back up to seated, so take your time to get there because we've been down for about 8 or 9 minutes. No rush. We've got one more seated posture and then we'll come back down to reclined. Take a wide leg seated position. You can sit on the block if you need to. This is our lateral side stretches. So if you've got a block or a bolster handy, that can be used on the inside of the leg. We're going to turn the body and gently rest the elbow down. And just notice here, take the hand onto the rib cage of the opposite side and imagine that you're actually rotating that rib cage nice and open. Good. And that block can be on any of those levels, okay? Or you can use a bolster. That's it. Now lift the arm up and it goes over and it rests on top of the head. But Dad, I'd probably just say work with the lean, the lateral flexion rather than the hand over the head. So make sure that rib cage doesn't roll inwards. We want to keep that rib cage opening, opening, opening. This is your peak pose, guys. Oh, open up through that right side or left side, whichever side you went to first. Make sure navel pulls in. You are grounding through the opposite sit bone as well. The sit bone isn't lifting off. Nice. Good. Yes, that's it, Sharon. Lovely, Sarah. Good, Dad. Nice. I know. You can feel it. Again, use gravity. You know, we've got this arm that's adding the weight. We've got the body that's adding the weight, dropping down towards that extended leg. Nice. Oh, release the top arm for a moment and then push yourself back up. So we're there for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Woo. Okay, let's go other side. So we turn the chest so that our shoulder is in line with our foot. Drop down the elbow. Again, you might want it on the highest level. Again, take the hand to the rib cage. Give the rib cage a little bit of a pull back. Nice twist. And then that top arm reaches up and over and you drop the hand down onto the head so it waits there. Yeah, good. And then you can look underneath the armpit or you can look down. If the neck is really uncomfortable looking underneath that lifted arm, look down. Keep the rib cage rotating, revolving back behind you. It's a lateral stretch and a rotation. Each breath, let go a little bit more. Let the body become heavy. Try to avoid resisting. Release the top hand first of all, and then gently use the hand on the block to push you back up. Come up to seated. Nice. Haven't finished yet. Gentle fold from the hips. Hinge the hips forward, press the chest, and come into your seated, wide-legged forward fold. It's called straddle. So again, using blocks or bolster in front of you, should you need them, to fill the space. Try to keep the spine long and the chest open to the mat. So we're not rounding too much in the shoulders. That's it. Yeah. Notice what the feet and the legs are doing. Are the legs rolling inwards? Are the toes rolling inwards? Keep those toes up towards the sky. These are great wide leg seated folds. Wonderful. So the practice has involved flexion, extension, lateral flexion and rotations of the spine, worked into the neck, into the chest, the pecs, the rotator cuffs of the shoulders, the shoulder joint, into the waist, the rib cage, and the back of the body and the front of the body. So all up really from the hips. And yes, there has been a little bit of leg stuff too, but not really focused on the legs, the lower body. Again, using gravity to let the body fold itself forward. Nice and slowly start to walk the hands back towards the body as you uncurl the spine. Chin stays in towards the chest, shoulders come back up in line with the hips. You sit nice and tall, relax the shoulders, the head comes up. Well done. Lift the knees together, give them a big squeeze. Woo! Last posture coming up is reclined. So it's a bolster and a block we need for supported fish. So you can place the bolster lengthways. Your block can support the head and just come back onto the bolster for your supported fish. And here the legs can stay long, or you might like to have butterfly. So soles of the feet come together, of course, knees drop out to the sides. And make sure that bolster runs directly down the center of the spine there. The arms are out to the sides. You let the rib cage mold itself around. So the shoulders relax, the chest molds itself, and you feel very open through the heart space, the sternum, the front body. Closing the eyes, relaxing any tension through the face and the jaw. Supporting the head and the neck. Nice. We'll stay here for about 5 or 6 minutes. So enjoy this supported fish. This is the final posture before relaxation. And this is a very passive back bend. It's like an upward salute if you were standing, or a locust if you were in prone. So really giving in to gravity here. Trying to release tension and tightness through the front and the back gates of the body, the posterior and the anterior chain. And this is a great one if you spend a lot of time sitting at a desk, if that is your day-to-day environment, quite sedentary. This is a really good one to really open up the shoulders, the chest, and the upper back after a long day at a desk. Take time to deepen the breath before moving, taking the hands to the thighs if you had butterfly, bringing the legs together, and just placing the soles of the feet down. If your legs were extended, just bring those back. And then gently bring the elbows back underneath the shoulders, lift the head, look along the body, and then press into the elbows to press yourself away. And then you can slide the bolster and the block away, lying back on the mat all the way. And just feel what it's like now to lie down without anything behind you. Drop through the belly, drop through the pelvis, the hips, relax into the lower back. Give yourself a little shimmy and a shake through the pelvis. That then shakes the legs and it shakes into the feet, and it also shakes into the shoulders and the upper back. So you get a butt massage, a calf massage, and a shoulder massage. And then draw the knees in, roll and massage out for the last time today, and let's make ourselves warm and comfortable for your final relaxation in Shavasana. You can use a block underneath the head, a bolster underneath the legs. Take pentacle here, so feet go nice and wide as you have the space. Arms go nice and wide away from the body as well. Spread the shoulders and bring the upper back down, and just move the head and the neck left and right to release tightness and tension there. Lift the chin towards the chest, stretch the back of the neck, and then release the skull down with a nice long neck and relaxed jaw, relaxed face. Make sure those feet are relaxed out towards the side of the mat. That's it. Yeah. And let's find some nice peace and quiet and stillness in Shavasana. I will let you know when it's time to come back around. But for now, try to stay present with yourself, with your body as you lie here. And if your mind does wander, return back to focus and anchor through the breath. Begin to take a deeper breath in and sigh it out. Take time to bring movement back into the fingers, just as we started the practice, wiggling, clenching into the fists, stretching. Do the same with the toes. Wiggle toes, clench and stretch. And then move into the wrists and the ankles. And then move into the legs and the hips. And just stretch the arms above the head, reach them back behind you, point the toes. Big stretch. And slowly draw the right and the left knees in towards the chest and roll and massage out. Roll over to the right side and just pause there for a moment. And then slowly push through the palm. Take your time to come up. Avoid dizziness. Don't rush. So returning up to seated. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. Press the thumbs in towards the sternum. And just check in with how you feel. And return and remember your own intention for practice. What benefits do you want to receive? What do you need most at this time, and how you feel now, and how you also can take this into the rest of your evening and the rest of your week ahead. Always thanking your body for all it does for you, the wonderful bodies that we have. Bringing the thumbs in towards the third eye. And I thank you. Namaste.